So this video is all about alkanes, so I'm going to introduce how crude oil is formed and recall the general formula for alkanes. So crude oil is formed over millions of years and it's basically made from marine plants and animals such as and little living things such as plankton. It's found in porous rocks in the Earth's crust, so they have to drill down under the seabed to get it with oil rigs. They are finite, so they are non-renewable, which means they will run out, and they're also very useful as fuels. So as you can see from this diagram, so the plankton and the marine animals sink to the bottom of the sea over millions of years. Layers of sediment build up on top, a lot of pressure and heat, and the millions of years, eventually the oil will be formed under the seabed. So, hydrocarbons. So most crude oil is mainly made of hydrocarbons, and the definition of hydrocarbon is a molecule that's made up of carbon and hydrogen only. And they can also vary in size, so some of the larger hydrocarbons, which have longer carbons in the chain, they tend to be more viscous, so more treacle-like. They have a higher boiling point, so the longer the chain, the higher the boiling point. The less volatile it is, so the less easy it evaporates, and the less easily it ignites. So the longer chains are actually as desirable as shorter chains because they're not as good as fuels. So the general formula for an alkane is CnH2n plus 2. So as an example, if you had a carbon chain with 2 carbons in it, it would be C2H, 2 times 2 plus 2. So it would be C2H6. So each carbon atom is linked to 4 other atoms by a single bond. And because alkanes have single bonds, that means that they are saturated hydrocarbons. And alkanes are also fairly unreactive because of the fact that they have those single bonds and they're already fully saturated. So what you can do if you have use of a molecular model kit is you can make models of each of the alkanes, going from methane, which has just 1 C, ethane, which has 2 Cs, propane, which has 3 carbons, and butane, which has 4 carbons. So as we can see, methane has just 1 carbon and it forms 4 bonds with 4 hydrogen. So the molecular formula of methane is CH4. And the displayed formula is as you can see there. And then you've got ethane, which has 2 carbons, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hydrogens. So the molecular formula is C2H6, and the displayed formula is what you can see there. Okay, then we've got propane. So propane is C3, 1, 2, 3. Yes?
I'm doing the Coke store, so we can get more money in there. Money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There.
Okay, so propane is C3H.
Go.
2n plus 2,
Go.
so 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8.
Go.
So C3H8 is the molecular formula, and the displayed formula is what you can see here.
Oh, wait.
That's a plate, yeah, good girl. And as you know, plates are made of a thermosetting polymer, because that's a plastic melamine plate. Okay.
And there's a gas plate over there.
Thank you. So the shorter the alkane, the more energy they release by burning. So they are in greater demand as fuels. So in summary, crude oil is a finite resource. It is non-renewable, and you find it by drilling down under the seabed using oil rigs. It is made from ancient biomass that was made of plankton that was buried with sediment over millions of years. Crude oil is a mixture of many compounds, most of which are hydrocarbons. And the definition of hydrocarbons is something that's made up of hydrogen and carbon atoms only. And you've got to have that word only in there to get the mark. So most of the hydrocarbons in crude oil are saturated, so they are alkanes. And the general formula of an alkane is CnH2n plus 2. And the first four members of the alkanes are meth, eth, pro, bute. So methane, ethane, propane and butane. And you can either represent them with a molecular formula, such as that would be ethane C2H6, or the displayed or structural formula, which would be that one right there. So C2H12345 6. And because they all have single bonds, they are saturated.